Hi Cancer and Cancer Rising, this is your February 2017 forecast. So February is said to be quite a changeable and fickle month. This is because we've got two eclipses. We've got a full moon lunar eclipse happening in Leo in your second house on the 11th of February and a new moon solar eclipse happening in your ninth house in Pisces on the 26th of February. So eclipses carry the signature of change, and sometimes chance events and circumstances can necessitate changes of course direction, also new awareness, because eclipses act as light bulbs shedding light on areas of our life. So things that were in the background can come into the foreground, and things that we thought we didn't have to deal with have a way of coming up and forcing our attention on that matter. So Cancer, ruled by the moon, can also be more sensitive to eclipses, so February can be a little bit rough at times. So let's see what else is happening for you this month. We've got the Sun in the 8th house, in your 8th house until the 19th of February. And this is the house of joint resources and investments. It's also where money comes in. So this is a very good placement for financial plans and budgets, so getting your financial affairs in order. Traditionally, the 8th house also rules fears and anxieties of mind, but what this really means, especially because Mercury is going to be in your 8th house as well, where it's going to help you have detachment and objectivity regarding things in your life that you need to sort out. So this is the house where we can deal with addictions or problematic behavior and purge things from our life. You know, with Mercury in the 8th, like I said, that's going to give you that kind of detachment to do sort of deep psychic surgery if that's what you need to do. So look at habits that you want to get rid of and things that you want to purge from your life. With the Sun and Mercury in the 8th house, you know, this is also a chance to really develop ideas that you want to take to publishing, teaching, or print. So when the Sun moves into the 9th house, that's going to be that kind of platform. So with Mercury in the 8th, very good for developing things, developing ideas, you know, getting all the paperwork done, strategizing, planning, scheming. So, and also, as I said, very good for deep level change. So this can also be the house of money coming in and money going out, and more focus on financial affairs generally speaking. So from the 19th of February, the Sun moves into the 9th house, and this is the house where we want to broaden our experiences, we're feeling more adventurous, we're inclined to take a leap of faith. This is also the house of travel and studies, so travel plans, study plans. And, you know, this is, especially with Mercury joining the Sun in the 9th house from the 26th of February, this is going to be good for new skills or taking up a new hobby. So here you really want to break things up from normal routine. You're open and more receptive to new ideas and influence, particularly around spirituality, philosophy, metaphysics, or even legal matters. So very explorative, very adventurous, you know, ways to shake up routine to make life more significant for you. So as I said, Mercury will be in your 8th house until the 26th of February, and this favors discussions and negotiations around joint resources, investments, and property matters, and also very good, like I said, for mental work or planning, studying, scheming, or around ideas that you want to take to teaching, publishing, or print. And also very good for mental detachment if you're doing self-help work, you know, so if you're wanting to purge unwanted habits, addictions, then this is a very good placement for Mercury like that. When Mercury moves into the 9th house, it's going to really open you up for new study, experiences. It's going to make you more receptive to ideas, make you more keen to travel, more keen to pick up new skills, and have those spiritual, metaphysical discussions. But more importantly, you're going to have Venus and Mars together in Aries in your 10th house. And with Mars and Aries in your 10th, this is really going to be a strong focus, a lot of energy on goals, ambitions, and drives to get ahead. So Mars in Aries is very strong. It's in its own sign. So in your 10th house of career and reputation, it's really going to push you to want to get to the top of the heap, to showcase your talents, your capabilities, your competence. So you're really going to be pushing hard to get ahead. But with Venus, also with Mars in the 10th house, this is going to actually minimize potential ego conflicts that you would have had, you know, potentially with authority figures, bosses, you know, because Mars here wants to take the initiative. And sometimes that can step on a few toes. But Venus here is going to mitigate that. So Venus in the 10th with Mars is going to make you more amenable, more cooperative, more, you know, inclined towards working well in a team or in a group. But Venus here, also that yin planet, can attract a lot of opportunities that are favorable for work and business. It's going to help you make a good impression on authority figures and bosses, and as I said, help you work well with others. Now, Mars and Venus together can also be very good for chemistry, so it could be that office romance for some of you. So falling in love with somebody above your station, a boss or a mentor. So for some of you, the sparks could really fly in the office. So let's look at what else is happening this month for you. On the 2nd of February, we've got Mercury squaring Jupiter between the 7th and the 4th houses at this time. And this can be a fortunate placement of, a fortunate aspect for long-range plans, goals, big picture thinking. And for you, this is going to be around partnerships and property concerns and home matters. But it can make you a little bit sloppy with the details. So although it's good for business and commerce around home and property matters and partnerships, you'll want to think and plan carefully and tend to all the details. So on the 28th of January, we had the new moon in your 8th house. So this is a startup energy that runs for 2 weeks until the full moon. So this is very good for getting things off the ground in terms of saving plans, financial budgets. It's good for taking out a loan. So all kinds of consolidation of financial affairs favored. So cleaning up your affairs and developing ideas, as I said, that you want to take to teaching, publishing, or print. So on the 9th, we've got the Sun sextiling Uranus between your 8th and your 10th house. And this is very good for taking up a new discipline, particularly technological, so things that can help you get ahead work-wise. It makes you a bit restless, you wanting to learn new skills, take up new activities in the workplace, and also tackle things with a fresh perspective. On the 10th, we've got Mercury sextiling Venus, and this is a very light-hearted aspect, wants, to relax, to enjoy, to have a good time, so it's good for love and friendship. And for, light-hearted discussions, and for you, this could be in the workplace. So do something scenic, do something pretty, do something relaxing with friends. So the full moon lunar eclipse is happening in your 2nd house, which is the house of finances. It's the house of self-esteem, your resources. So it's all about give and take. Now, this full moon lunar eclipse has very favorable aspects between the luminaries and Jupiter, Saturn, and Uranus. So for you, this is going to be also a very favorable time where things culminate around home or property or parental concerns. So, you could be extending, your property investments and, so perhaps thinking of ways to, make yourself more rooted, secure, and connected. And this includes family ties. Saturn's in your 6th house, so there it's all about work duties and responsibilities. And with the aspects to Uranus, it could be some changes in your career that you're integrating that, that are more liberating than upsetting. So just remember, eclipses play out over a period of 6 months. So, this is kind of settling and consolidating affairs, and it will play out over a period of time. So for you, it's all around finances, it's around home and property concerns, it's around work duties and responsibilities, but all favorable aspects, so things can really peak, consolidate in these areas of your life. So on the 14th, we've got the Sun sextiling Saturn between your 8th and your 6th house, and this is very good for, getting good advice from a trusted authority figure or an older person, so getting sound, practical advice. In terms of financial plans and budgets, you're making long-range plans, and so very serious, stabilizing influence, so, kind of cold, hard look at your affairs and managing them. So on the 16th, we've got Mercury in your 8th house sextiling Mars in your 10th, and this is really an aspect that's very physically and mentally busy. It's all about taking opportunities for you in the workplace, to take initiative, to take charge, to showcase your expertise. You're feeling vigorous and energetic, and it's also a very good placement for standing firm on your beliefs. So if you need to defend a point of view without being overly zealous, then this will be good just to stand your ground and stand firm. But also, like I said, utilize opportunities to take initiative and to showcase your expertise in the workplace. So on the 20th, we've got Mercury sextiling Uranus between your 8th and your 10th house. And this influence is very good for tackling problems that you couldn't resolve in the past. So you'll be able to take a different perspective on things, shake things up, try something different. So if things weren't working out with previous approaches, this will be, where you get a bit of an epiphany or an aha moment. It's also very good for tackling technological skills and problems and learning skills that are technological. So on the 21st, we've got Mercury trining Jupiter. So Mercury trining Jupiter, a very favorable aspect for all kinds of business and commerce, deals, buying and selling, so very favorable like that. And for you, this is around home and properties, so some of you could be buying or selling at this time. And you're able to take a big picture kind of approach to things, so it's good for future plans, organizing affairs, and for you, this is going to be around budgets, finances, and any kind of home and property concerns. Now on the 22nd, there's an aspect that you want to watch out for. Mars is squaring Pluto between your 10th and your 7th house. So this is angular, which means it's strong. You're going to feel it potentially. So Mars in the 10th, squaring Pluto in the 7th, clashes with authority figures, partners, or groups. So ego energy is running very high at this time. There's the potential for a lot of disagreement. The high energy is, however, very good for getting a lot of work done. So you may want to just lay low and really just work your way through this one. So, tackle something that needs a lot of energy and give it your focus and, try and steer clear from all the aggressive energies that are in the air. Because for you, this could really play out in the workspace or with partners. So on the 26th, we've got a new Moon Solar Eclipse happening in your 9th house. And this is all about art, creativity, philanthropy and ideals, because the Sun and the Moon are conjunct Neptune. So that's happening in your 9th house. And the 9th house is the house of dreams, travel, study, So it's where you broaden experiences. You're going to be thinking about taking on big plans or, and this for you could be around study, legal matters, or travel plans that you want to make. So also, this influence because the Sun and the Moon are conjunct Neptune, and the fixed star scut can show help from friends, a bit more of a spiritual focus, particularly with the 9th house. So for some of you, this could be, deepening your spiritual, studies and choosing a spiritual path. With Mars conjunct Uranus and in semi-square with the Sun and the Moon, you'll want to watch kind of radical shifts and changes and upsetting behavior that could potentially arise. So sticking to your morals, sticking to your moral compass. So acting with a clean conscience is going to be very important. And again, this is an eclipse that plays out. So it's over a period of 6 months. So for you, it's all around travel, study plans, perhaps a spiritual focus, or perhaps philanthropic or charitable work. So, big picture thinking, how to make things more meaningful and more significant. So big plans, dreams, and adventures for you. So on the 27th, we've got two influences that we want to watch out for. We've got Mars opposing Jupiter, but Mars is still conjunct Uranus at this time. So Uranus can really show like sudden upsets, rash behavior, accidents. And for you, this is in the workplace. So again, something that you want to watch out with in terms of making impulsive, decisions, changing direction too radically, and this for you in the workplace, in the office. So, just watch anger also boiling up at this time. With Mars opposing Jupiter, this is kind of an exaggerated influence. Jupiter always wants to go overboard. So this is again a high physical energy transit. And often when there's a high physical energy and frustrated ego energies with Mars, things can go a little bit too far. It can be argumentative. You can clash. You can overcommit or overextend yourself, and for you, this is going to be around work or home affairs, family affairs. So, you don't want to bite off more than you can chew at this time, but otherwise, again, can be a very productive energy. But with Mars conjunct Uranus, you want to watch sudden changes of direction and impulsive decisions, especially with Mars and Aries. It can be a little bit rash like that. So just watch out. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this forecast, please like and subscribe, and thanks so much for listening.